Hey, it's Glenn, and this video is just going to be me rambling about my short story Breath for a while. Breath is available primarily as an ebook for the Kindle and related apps. There's also a paperback, as with all of my short fiction, and this is that paperback that is available through a direct link at my website, glensladeclarkjr.com. So, if you want the paperback, you can go get it. If you want to read the ebook, it's 99 cents at Amazon. So, there you go. So, where this story came from. I can't really recall exactly when I decided or why I decided I needed to write this story. I think in 2005, I had this goal to have a new short story up on my website every quarter. And the first one I put up was Metronome's Worse Than a Gremlin. So second quarter was Breath. So I know I really just wanted short stories, and I met that goal. I had 4 new short stories up in 2005, but as far as when I was struck by the story, I don't recall, which is rare. I usually remember, but what it's actually about, like on the surface, of course, you have a story about a so-called freak of nature, a boy with gills, and religious people who think he's an abomination and should be killed because he's not a man, he's not a fish, he's a fish man. And then you have his mother and father, Tim and Nat. They just seem bizarre. Like, if you take it at face value, the family dynamic is very peculiar, and I think it's obvious. It's not that I had no intention of disguising the fact that they were supposed to basically be Father Time and Mother Nature. But the story is not really about a fish man escaping persecution to the ocean. It's really a gay rights metaphor. And that's where the story came from. And I will break that down for you right now. So Gil, the great name for a boy with gills. I wasn't really trying. Anyway, so Gil just basically represents something different than what society expects of someone. Like, the religious people, especially the holy men of the story, can't abide his existence because he doesn't fit into their narrow worldview. So they want to kill him. So he's like the obvious. Gil is the metaphorical gay boy. And, the holy men, duh, they're pretty much, they're the church, they're the far right-wing conservatives, they're the hate mongers, pretty much, the people who, in our world, will not accept anyone who doesn't fit into their narrow-minded worldview. And Mother Nat, obviously, I've already said, she's Mother Nature. Father Tim is Father Time. I was, again, not trying, so with these names. And the stone wall that Gil had to climb over to escape the persecution was symbolic of the Stonewall riots, where the gay rights movement really began. And so the meaning of the story, it's Gil doesn't want to be killed off by the holy men, and time and nature help him to overcome the obstacles, the big stone wall that he had to crawl over. The gay rights movement started with the Stonewall riot. Gay oppression far predates that, but time and nature, courage being part of nature, and just human strength of will to survive, that would be nature. And, so given time and nature, you come to the Stonewall riots, you have to make a decision. Are you going to give up or are you going to fight? And that's where the fight began. And so that's where Gil's fight begins, is crawling over this wall. So once he gets over the wall, the metaphor continues, because he has to drag himself along this beach to try to get to the ocean. So the Stonewall's where it starts. But there are years and years of struggling and fighting to try and get true equality, to not be considered a second-class citizen, going into the metaphor. And the goal is the ocean. The goal is a wide open world where Gil belongs, where Gil can swim freely and do whatever Gil wants to do. And, at the end of the story, he discovers that he's not alone, that there are other people out there. And as far as the metaphor, that doesn't really fit with the gay rights movement, because obviously there's a strong community of people that have been fighting this fight. But what that really represents is that he's no longer considered an abomination when he's in the ocean. He's no longer in a world that doesn't accept his existence, because there are other people like him that exist, and it's just a given. So that is the meaning of Breath. Not much else to say. It's a very short story, but it's near and dear to me. I love this story, and I hope you loved it too if you've read it. And if you haven't read it, again, 99 cents on Amazon, check it out. In 2 days I'll have another Between the Lines episode up, all about Hollow Jane. So, until then, that's all I've got, so I'll talk to y'all later.